What is up everyone, and welcome to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 of Kazuya's hardest matchups, one of those being Min Min, as you saw in the title and thumbnail. I wanted to make this video kind of as like a week 1 kind of mini matchup chart. If you guys want to see a full matchup chart with every character in the game for Kazuya, I know it's pretty early, but I think it would be cool to make a preliminary one, since it's only been about a week, just from like my basic thoughts, just talking about all the characters that I think have been a struggle for Kazuya and those characters that I think have been actually really good for Kazuya. If you guys want to see that, make sure to leave that down in the comments below to make sure that I know that you guys want to see that as well. This video is going to be mainly going over 3 different types of characters that I think Kazuya struggles with, and those being zoners like Min Min, projectile zoners like Young Link and Link, and then just small characters like Pikachu and Pichu. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. So I wanted to start off by talking about Min Min. And Min Min, I think, obviously, I would say that at this point, it should be the general consensus, or at least it's my opinion, that Min Min is very, very good. Definitely top tier. And Min Min is very, very hard to play against Kazuya, or very, very hard for Kazuya to win against, because of her spectacular zoning tools. And the fact that using Ram, her this arm right here, using Ram, she's able to effectively keep out Kazuya no matter what he does, because since he does not have a great jump, I think if you angle Ram up, it's always going to hit Kazuya's first jump no matter what. So you cannot approach with like that. You can't approach it even if she angles it down, because since the Ram has such a high hitbox and it curves around, you will never ever be able to go above Min Min. So what you're forced to do is you're forced to use either your double jump to approach or your up B to approach. And in that situation, usually what happens is, since Min Min did get a nerf this patch, the up smash is a little bit slower, but it's still a very, very fast up smash, and Min Min still has up B, which can come out really quickly, and up tilt, which are both used for juggling, and up air, which will continue the juggle cycle to effectively keep you out of the air. And if you whiff your attack move, Min Min can just go for the grab, and getting a grab is actually really, really bad, getting grabbed by Min Min, because it powers up the dragon arm, and she can switch back and forth between her arms, which means at one time having Ram for edge guarding and dragon arm for killing, powered up dragon arm for killing, can be really, really bad, especially if that's paired with Megawatt. So Min Min is just a really, really hard character to begin with. Also, even though crouch dash is a very, very good move, it does not always go under, depending on where. If Min Min charges the laser, it doesn't go under the laser, and if Min Min angles the dragon arm or the Ram or any of her moves basically downwards, then it will always hit. The crouch dash does not have enough invincibility frames, because since it hits at the legs, it's only invincible in the body for 2 to 5 frames, so you will always get hit by Min Min's downward tilted smash attacks or regular tilt attacks. Other than that, Min Min can be, if you can keep yourself near Min Min and read all of Min Min's rolls with your crouch dash, you can get really good punishes off, especially if you're really good at EWGFs, or electrics. If you can just catch Min Min, then you can get punishes really, really hard. You can get punishes off really, really easily, especially if you can get near him, and grabbing against Min Min is very, very good. Something that I would recommend for anybody who's struggling against Min Min right now is to try to go to a stage with platforms, preferably 2 platform stages like Small Battlefield or PS2. And when you're on those stages, I would say try to approach from the top of one of the platforms opposite of Min Min, and mix up your approaches. So sometimes land on the platform, sometimes don't land and fall straight through the platform, sometimes land on the platform for a second and run off the side, sometimes land off the platform and then you'll go down to the platform, just stuff like that to get closer to the Min Min. And also, whenever you are trying to get near a Min Min, I like to just put out forward airs, because it does have a kind of disjointed hitbox, especially at the tip of the toe. And if you ever want to get Min Min off stage, edge guarding is obviously very important against Min Min, so I would recommend going for the special grab that he has, especially if you can get it off stage, because it does 28% and it will send Min Min at a very, very good angle for killing. Like that, you can see that's a really good angle, especially since Kazuya has near spike and forward air that can just edge guard further. Next up, I want to talk about Young Link, which is going to be the projectile zoners. So Young Link is a very good projectile zoner, as you know. I would say right now, I would say the general consensus is that he's better than Link. I actually think that he might be a little bit worse than normal Link, but obviously that's up for discussion. But he has definitely a faster projectiles, especially with the flame arrow, and he has a lot better, I would say, combos off of his different moves, because I think he can get fair off of bomb, boomerang, and fire arrow, which is something that Link can't do. Obviously Link's forward air is stronger, but I would say young Link's has more combo potential. But anyways, the bigger problem with projectile zoners against Kazuya is that they will have the projectiles keep Kazuya out, especially because a lot of them are fast. And if you're especially playing on, like, the only experience so far I have with Kazuya is on Elite Smash, right? So when you're playing it on Elite Smash, it makes it a bit harder to actually react to some of the stuff. But as you can see, the main way that Kazuya deals with this is by using crouch dash, because something good about young Link and all the other projectile zoners, for like the Link specifically, their arrows you can crouch dash under always. As long as you crouch dash perfectly timing it, you will always be able to avoid the arrows. And I found that online I actually do not struggle as much, as long as the young Link doesn't realize that they can camp with other moves other than fire arrow, because as you know, most of the young Links really like that move. They just like to spam it. So I've gotten a lot of punishes, because since it is quite a bit laggy off the end of it, when they shoot a fire arrow about here, you can crouch dash and get a grab punish like that. So when you do actually get down the crouch dash input, and when you're able to utilize it in your gameplay a lot, you will be able to avoid some of these projectile zoner matchups. The only problem with this is that young Link still has boomerang, which is probably better than fire arrow in my opinion, and in angling it down makes it so that Kazuya will never ever be able to crouch dash under it, which means that the only solution to matchups like this is to either have a platform, to be very good at parrying, which is hard online, and even offline parrying isn't crazy. It'll just give you better punishes, and to basically always be hitting your combos no matter what. If you miss any of your combos, you are gonna lose. And that's what makes playing Kazuya hard in general, is because you always have to be playing at your best when your opponent can afford to make mistakes. Since it's hard for Kazuya to get in, and his neutral game relies on getting in, it will be almost always necessary for you to actually be playing at your best, which is the biggest weakness I would say for Kazuya right now. Other than that, I would say for all people that are struggling, practice doing your reflector. I actually really struggled to do this for a long time, because I thought it took so long to start up. You just have to get because the input for this reflector is forward A really quickly in succession like that. And you can, depending on how fast you can do it, you can barely move at all when you do it, so it's just like a normal reflector. You just have to be prepared to reflect, so that means reading your opponent before he throws out the boomerang, get prepared to input this. And sometimes you're in situations where you can't input it, where you're just going to need to shield or parry. And finally, for the last type of characters we'll be talking about is small characters like Pikachu and Pichu. These characters are hard for Kazuya for obvious reasons, because some of Kazuya's attacks just don't hit them. For example, I think when Pichu is grounded, or when Pichu and Pikachu crouch, you aren't able to hit them with your Rising A or your Demon Fist, which is just huge. And depending on where they're standing, you will not always be able to hit them with electrics, depending on where they are. I think if you do it in a certain combo, obviously it's harder for you to hit them in general. So like when you're not doing your whole combo strings, it will be harder for them to just get hit, since they have a smaller hitbox in general. But also it makes it so that you are not able to punish them, especially out of shield. Pichu and Pikachu, I would say, are really good out of shield, even though they don't have crazy out of shield options. Their out of shield options almost always beat Kazuya's out of shield options. For example, one of the most common out of shield options is a B, because it does damage 21.6% and is relatively fast, comes out on frame 14. However, Pichu and Pikachu both have nairs and back airs that come out at faster than frame 14, which means that no matter what you do, if you do not hold shield, you are never going to be able to actively beat a Pikachu or Pichu out of shield unless they land on your shield forward, in which you can jab out of it. But even in that situation, Pichu and Pikachu have very, very fast jabs, so you could just clank depending on how fast they input it, especially if they buffer a jab when they're landing, or if they do a move that doesn't have much landing lag, like down air, which has 2 hitboxes on shield, which will put you into shield stun, which just creates a mess of problems. The other problem, obviously, for these two characters specifically is Thunder Jolt. Thunder Jolt is a huge problem for Kazuya, especially because you cannot reflect a Thunder Jolt, because usually Thunder Jolts will be coming at you from across the stage, multiple at once, which means that you cannot, if you reflect one, you'll just get punished by the next one, which is counterintuitive, especially when you're trying to approach, because your whole neutral revolves around approaching your opponent. So the only way to really beat Thunder Jolt is to be able to be a crouch dash master. I haven't really encountered, I don't think I've encountered a single Pichu or Pichu online, but I have played against some of the CPUs just to see what the matchup is like. And yeah, to actively, you have to be able to crouch dash while also being able to read when your opponent knows you are going to crouch dash. And you must crouch dash by inputting the fast crouch dash, and you probably always will have to do some action out of the crouch dash that's quick, whether that is the charge, whether it's an electric, whether it's like a normal. You always need to be doing something, because eventually the Pikachu player, especially at higher levels of gameplay, the Pikachu player will read, they'll put out the Thunder Jolts as a trap, and they'll read your air dot, the double crouch dash. Say they put out 2, so you have to do 1, 2 to get under them, and they'll just F smash you right here. So they'll be in the air, they'll shoot the Thunder Jolts, and then you'll do the stuff, and then they'll grab you and do something like up throw thunder, right? So especially at higher percents, when they like to run away and they like to just space you out, this is one of the biggest problems, like I was talking about earlier with Young Link, with projectile zoners. And Pikachu and Pichu are kind of a mix of both, because Thunder Jolt is just that good. It makes them a projectile zoner that's small, that's hard to hit, and it makes it so that, especially with their really good edge guarding, because as you know, side B can be 2-framed very easily, and at the tip of the back wing, if you're facing this direction, Kazuya's up B can also be 2-framed, which means that you're probably going to be getting a lot of 2-frames, especially with these two characters. Pichu's forward smash, Pichu's forward tilt. Pichu can get, I know he can get it with down smash sometimes, and tilt. You also, and since Kazuya's a heavyweight, you're gonna probably getting jab locked so you're always gonna have to be teching. So in all 3 of these scenarios that I talked about in this video, basically the basic premise is that Kazuya struggles to get in. Kazuya needs to always be playing at his best, which is very hard to do to win against these types of characters. But if you are playing at your best, these types of characters can be mastered. It's just going to take a lot of practice. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe. We're almost at 850 subscribers. And if you guys want more of these types of Kazuya content videos, make sure to leave that down in the comments down below. If you guys want me to make a full matchup chart video, I'll be glad to do so. I'll probably be down in the comments asking for some of you guys' thoughts on some of the matchups, because I haven't played every single matchup in the game. But with that all the way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.